Hello everyone, my name is Tanisha Emilia and today I'd like to talk about preserving nocturnal ecosystem through efficient lighting design to create better environment for humans and animals alike. Now, before we start, I'd like you to take a look at this picture of the hyenas. As we know, hyenas are naturally active at night. Now take a look at this picture and define the two light sources that are being used here. And if you can guess that it's coming from the side and from the ground, we can see that the zoo uses harsh light that disrupts their natural rhythms, and this constant exposure to natural light can have serious consequences for animals. And this is very sad since hyenas are mammals that are known to be active at night, and the zoos that are supposed to be their mimic of habitat still adds this amount of harsh lights. Now, what are the consequences of having this harsh lights around these animals? Well, it can damage animals' eyes, skin, and even disrupt their metabolism, and they can have their behaviors change, such as their hunting, their sleeping, and mating activities, since they rely on darkness for those behaviors. And it also disrupts their natural cycles that leads to stress, anxiety, and even aggression. Now, when do we actually need these lights? Light is necessary for observing and caring for animals, especially during emergencies. It's also essential for security reasons, as some vulnerable animals, such as those who are sick or pregnant, to hide in the dark or camouflage themselves. And these are a few real case example. The first one is from Miami. As you can see, this is the interactive kiwi habitat exposed to the birds to constant light and leading to negative feedback from the New Zealand people, and ultimately shutting down the interaction program, which is kind of a shame since the interaction program is very valuable for education, but not at the expense of the animals' welfare. And this is another petting zoo in Indonesia. These zoos rely on bright light, artificial light that harms animal health and contributes in the surrounding of light pollution. Again, interaction is valuable for education, but not at the expense of animal welfare. We need to find this balance to be able to live harmoniously between humans and wildlife. Now, what is the solution? The solution is that we need to move beyond the traditional round white light in zoos, parks, and protected areas. Here are some of the ideas that are trying to mimic natural lighting patterns like the moonlight. My design is, I have two design, which is a design for more like the lighting setup and the light design. So for the lighting setup, we have this light that is placed above the cage, the habitat, so that it can point into the pond and refracts the light to the surrounding so that the animals can be seen, but not so much that it disrupts the animal. And another one is the light reflectors that create a soft, diffuse glow, mimicking moonlight on water. This design is inspired by beautiful loikrathong lanterns of Thailand. So the light that shoots up will be dispersed, and the rest of the lighting that bounce will be bounced down to the water and bounce up again, so that creates this W motion. And another one is the lighting for interactive enclosure, which is designed for learning. Like the kiwi enclosure, I suggest using a combination of reflective surfaces and an outdoor light source to provide enough visibility for humans without disturbing the animals. So we have the light that comes from the U-shaped beams going up and then reflected, and then another from the glass side. We use outdoor lighting so that we can differentiate, so that the animals can differentiate when it is nighttime or when it is daytime, so that their circadian rhythm, or the rhythm that follows the day and night cycle, can still be according to their nature. These ideas aren't just for zoos, but we can use similar lighting in protected forests to minimize disruption to nocturnal animals, and as well as urban parks or green buildings, the usually the parks in green buildings, to protect migrating birds by reducing light pollution. The more we understand how our actions can impact the environment, we can better coexist with nature. By designing lighting that respects the needs of nocturnal creatures, we can create this win-win solution for humans and wildlife. Now, this is an example of a green building that I just talked about. That buildings like Kuthek Fort Hospital demonstrate how thoughtful a design can minimize light pollution. And by implementing the alternative light design that I propose, eventually more birds will be able to migrate safely despite the fact that they're flying over cities and factories. And the human will be able to live at ease while the animals live at peace. That is all I have for today. Thank you for listening.